Live and we're live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J-Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 373. Hello,
Sorry for
hello. It's been a bit.
Yeah, sorry for the earthquake there. I was touching the screen. And now
so I wanted to apologize. I did have we did have quite a bit kind of that got delayed into this episode, and then this episode was delayed. So for everybody that was excited about upcoming drawings, we really built up the suspense, right? It's very Hitchcock suspense build up on all of our drawings and favorite things. So I don't know about you, but I was thinking like, I have a pile of favorite things here, but like, I feel like I did a pretty good job post ZK. Like, okay, maybe I should slow down a bit. So perhaps not as much yarn in my favorite things, a little bit of a preview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
How's life been treating you? I know, so part of the delay was that my family was dealing with illness. And so again, really appreciate Amy's flexibility in that. Your family doing well?
Yeah, we're doing well, but Miss Cookie did go up to the cities yesterday to get radiation for her thyroid issue. And so we won't have Miss Cookie in our house for 10 days. And so I'm a little sad.
Is that through the University of Minnesota?
No, well, our local vet has a vet that they work with in the cities that is capable of doing the radiation and then housing the radioactive cat for the remainder of.
That's a fun statement.
Yeah.
Radioactive cat.
Yeah. So I guess what they do is it's very safe, and it's basically a cure for something that they would surgically remove and then give them medication for in the past. But if you get the radiation treatment, it's a one-time deal and they're cured. And so we're going to go for the cure. And yeah, so the pet and the things that come out of the pet are radioactive for 10 days after the treatment.
Similar to, I had a family member that tested positive for COVID, and we kind of treated him like he was radioactive. We're like, own bathroom, sleep in the basement, in isolation. And yeah, so I get it.
Yeah, they did say that there was the option to have your pet at home, but it would be an isolation situation. They could not rejoin the family for 10 days. And we have another cat. So it just was like, no, this is not going to work.
And I'm forgetting, is the one that's getting treatment the one that does not deal well with the leaving the house and coming back? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Cookie always gets treated like a stranger for Pivot every time she comes back. So she'll be coming back after a 10 days away, and Pivot will treat her like a complete stranger.
Who are you? Like, who even are you? I thought I'd gotten rid of you.
Yeah. She's got a goldfish brain, that one. Does not remember
well, that's
things.
Fun. Lots of sending hugs. Yeah, lots of cat love out there. So
yeah, no, we're excited because she's always been lower weight. You know, she's just always been a naturally thin cat. And so she might have had this thyroid condition for a lot of her life, but we never got the testing done until recently for an unrelated issue. And then the test results came back and they're like, oh, your cat does have a thyroid condition. It's kind of low on the scale of the conditions, right? She won't need as much radiation as other pets would. But we're like, oh, she's always been a very tiny cat, you know, think 5 to 6 pounds of a cat her whole life. So we're kind of hoping that she becomes an 8-pounder after this.
Cool.
Like, we're gonna have an 8-pound cat, a little fluffier.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, yeah, anything that will help with, yeah, beefing her up so that she's not, if anything else hits, right? So always good to not have them on the razor edge of thinness. So
Yep. So that
Yep.
place calls us every night, or will. They called us last night. They're going to call us tonight to give us updates. And they said that no news is good news, you know, right? Like most of the time it'll be like the last call he makes. It's just like, she looks good. She's eating good. We're good. Next day. So
is there like a Catmobile that like takes them up to the Twin Cities? That sounds so interesting. Oh, you had to take her up to the Twin. Okay.
yeah. No, it's very interesting because there was only a 2-hour window at the end of the day where I could bring her up to the animal clinic, because it's kind of like a with privileges kind of thing. Like he's not a doctor at the hospital, he has privileges at the hospital. So
Nice.
We had to go in during his office hours.
Excellent. All right. Well, that was a little bit of the more you know, people now know about how thyroid treatment in cats has progressed in recent years. That's definitely not something I've ever heard of growing up kind of in a farm community.
Oh, right.
So yeah. All right. So administrati, we're good. Anything else that you wanted to chat about? Nope. Okay. So again, lots of drawings, which is again always one of my favorite things. This is the order that I did the drawings in, which is you'll see it's kind of interesting, funny. So I picked out Woolens and Nosh skein of Summer by the Lake. Really pretty. These greens just make me so very happy.
Yep.
And I drew 2 winners. So this and then the coveted self-striping KAL exclusive winner, either bottle or shirt if you're interested. And without further ado, the 2 winners that I drew were Valerie and Karen Knitland. Valerie's was a bright axis, which is very pretty. And I think I got a picture of her and myself wearing my bright axis at ZK, which is always fun to see the knits on Discord and then the knits in real life. And I believe Karen's was a hat, like an up in a twist or up in something. And Valerie, I know, is watching live. So congratulations, Valerie. So exciting. So yeah, contact me, address, and whether or not you would like, Karen or Valerie, your preference of exclusive, logo item or, this beautiful skein of yarn. So then the second drawing I had was the ZKN survey. So thank you to everybody. We had just about 50 responses and I drew number 20. Which doesn't mean anything to you guys, but it does in my little spreadsheet of responses. And I picked out this not currently available Adventure Walk bag from the Silver Shed USA with our ZKN, our original ZKN logo. Super fun. And number 20 was Michelle Woolens and Nosh. So it was like drawing, I wrote down Woolens and Nosh, and then I went and drew the random number 1 to 50, and it was number 20, and here it's Michelle Woolens and Nosh. So I will let you find out that you won that organically, Michelle, and then I'll get that sent out once you contact me and say, yay, I won. Or if I see you at an upcoming VKN, I can let you know. And then last but certainly not least, we had the musical craft-a-lon. Sorry, were you saying something? Oh, maybe I heard myself echoing back briefly. So the things that I chose, we had a beautiful Black Pearl Magic with twinkle stars on it that I chose to be a prize, thinking kind of like twinkle, twinkle, little star. And it's her, the sizes better than I do, Amy.
A 125.
A 125. Super pretty. Love the rainbow zipper. And then I felt like this was a beautiful duet. So this is Queen City in On the Dock and Madam Vice President. I thought this was a really pretty duet of colors. And you'll see in my favorite things, I also, during our show and share on Saturday, I had a trio of yarns. So I'm really going in on them, the musical theme for the prizes. Anyway, so there's 2 prizes there. And then the third prize is a logo item. So yarn, bag, or logo item out of our Stockinette Zombie shop. That could be a shirt, that could be the stashing squirrel, that could be a water bottle in the shop, shirt or water bottle, any of the logos. Anyway, 3 winners. We had a lot of repeat entries, and so it was interesting to see those come up. Chris, Emily's Mimi, Tiffany, Mojave Knitter, and Julia Wee Sheep were the 3 that I drew. Especially really loved that thread when people linked the YouTube videos and you could click on the song and listen to the songs. It became an interactive thread. But congratulations to those 3. Thanks for participating in our musical craft along. I loved the musical call outs and ingenuity of finding those links and to musical items. And then just a brief mention. August, I am not selecting a craft along for August. So August, we're going to take a deep breath, and then mid-August, which it is almost now, I'll be announcing what we're going to be doing going into the September timeframe, so people can kind of prep and start making their plans. So stay tuned.
They can always self-stripe along. Always.
I want to see this knit up. Well, actually, Michelle does a really great job on her website. I think almost all of the colorways you can see knit up. Yeah, and this is the Targhee base. So it's really so exciting. So yes, the 3 in the craft along, please contact me in order of your preference and your shipping address, and I'll get those sent out.
Great. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So again, I chose that craft along because, and Laura just put it in the chat as well, like I make most any reference into a song. So it's near and dear to my heart because I can always find the musical reference. But it was really fun, and the show and share as well, to talk about kind of like the smattering of musical references that I've done in my FOs as well. So
okay.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
favorite things?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know what it is about me lately, but I have been not as social, like not as on social media, not as VKNing. But I'm sure
you did
there's
a recent job change or job role change, right? So yeah, that could be part of it.
I get pretty brain dead at the end of the day. That's for darn sure.
It can be, yeah, new can be draining, right? And even if you're really enjoying it, it has a toll. It takes toll.
Yeah. Novel makes you work harder, right? But that's good to challenge ourselves with that kind of stuff. Anyway, favorite things. I am holding one of them. I did get on social media to talk about this a little bit, just in one little post, but I have my Rambly Antis cowl. So I really love the wool Rambly. And so the Recollect is a farmer's daughter's fiber. And I don't know, I just really, really, really love this. It just brings me so much joy. It's just so squish and stringy, but still rustic, but not prickly at all. Rambly is my favorite. I think that, I still knit with a lot of merino because that's what, some of those brilliant colors that you can find are in merino. But I don't know. Every time I pick up a new project with Rambly, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is my favorite.
Was that a kit?
So happy. They did sell kits, but I came in later. I had the spin cycle already, which is the light color. And then I came in later and bought some Recollect to go with it. But their original kits were Spin Cycle and Recollect. I just happened to come at it after they had sold out. I think
So
they
you
also
built your
had
own
the
kit.
Yak. Huh? Yes.
Built your own kit, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think they had originally had a Yak kit, and I missed out on that. But definitely built my own kit later on with the Recollect, and so that's one of my favorite things. I'm gonna
Do
say
you
that
think, again, like maybe if you worked with Rambo, do you think it's the difference, or do you think that there's something specifically about Rambouillet that you really love? I was commenting last night when we were chatting that I'd been working with some cotton, and while it didn't feel like rough to me and I wasn't getting like hand fatigue and whatever, I switched over to some merino, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this is the softest yarn that I've ever worked with, right? Like it was the juxtaposition with the other yarn that made me go like, oh, this is different and new and novel, and like it heightened my sense of the softness of it. Do you feel like your Rambo, like that's, or your Rambouillet is kind of because you kind of get, it's different, right? It's almost like what you were talking about with your job, right? Like it's something different that makes you cognizant of the properties of it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is very unique, right? So it isn't, when you get something that's Rambouillet, it's not going to feel the same. This one is also spun differently, right? So,
oh,
well, I mean, just in the, you can tell, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, cashmere, blah, blah, blah. All those things feel ethereal when you're knitting with them, but the Rambouillet feels like substantive, kind of like one of those rustic yarns that might have a prickle factor, right?
Mm.
But this one doesn't have a prickle factor, right? It's
Okay.
very
So
soft.
it's the Venn diagram of rustic and softness and no prickle factor.
Yes.
Where they intersect.
For me, that's the joy of the intersection there. You get the softness and the feel, but then you get that joy of like, I don't know, the rustic yarns do take the color work a little bit better, and I don't know, and they're just sturdier. They feel more substantial.
Yeah, Claire says that she thinks Rambouillet has a sponginess to it.
Yes.
Is that an adjective you would use? Yeah.
Yes. I was going with like when you see a sheep jump on all four legs at once, like spring. That's how I feel about Rambouillet.
Yeah. Okay. So sheep jumping.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I feel. You're bouncy, springy. Yeah, definitely. I picture a little sheep on all four legs at once, just boing. Okay. But another thing that's my favorite things is, we get caught up in subscription yarns sometimes. I have my Fade. I don't have any of that with me, but then I also joined the Indigenous monthly with Farmer's Daughters Fibers. So everything is based on something they've picked a Indigenous artist or an Indigenous writer to base the colorway on. Just think artistic Indigenous folks, and then they pull something from that community and then they base a yarn on it. So yeah, I'm part of that collective.
Ooh.
So this is the Juicy Decay. It's on a variety of bases. The first one I got was just on their sock base, a merino sock base. So, maybe not just, maybe it was yak too. But it was fingering. This one's the Juicy Decay. So
very pretty. What's the colorway name?
I don't know.
Okay.
HOLOSKE.
Holosk. Holosk. Yeah.
I spelled it for you.
Did. And I did my best to try to pronounce it. So it's very pretty. The burnt orange definitely has kind of like a terracotta feel, maybe.
Yep, and it's definitely got a lot of different colors in it throughout. It's not a, I don't know what you call it. It's not a semi-solid, but a tonal semi-solid.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see this doing well in a sweater per se, right? Because it's all uniform, but lots of colors in there.
Mm-hmm. So pretty. And
then last but not least, and the subscription joy is that the Fiber Society.
Yes.
So this beautiful bluey green in a swanky sock.
I got mine.
No? Yeah. So love that. It is very soft, as their swanky sock does feel softer than normal cashmere somehow.
You don't name something swanky if it's not. Yeah. It's got some swagger. Swanky socks got some swagger. I'm pretty soft, don't you know? They're killing it with the speckles, this society. I'm so happy with the Magpie Society. All of the speckles have brought me so much joy. The variegated's very pretty. So like you get a variegated choice and a speckle choice. And the variegateds are very pretty, but the speckles are just like slaying me.
There was one that was more pastel-y where I got the variegated, and I really enjoyed that one. The way that they did the variegation, it did feel like cohesive, right? It didn't feel like choppy or broken
blend.
Yeah,
well.
It was blended well. Yes, it was very blended.
Yeah, that's my blend dance, apparently.
Okay,
yeah.
I did it with you.
Okay. So the other stuff that I have here, I mentioned that I gave away a trio. This trio belongs to Beth, who was my random drawer for sharing her musical KAL, our musical craft along, blah, easy for me to say, project. But I want to dig mine out because this is making me so happy. I'm like, I need this in my life. I mean, I'm getting a fade from Diane. So this was what made me realize the genius of Diane's fades, right? Like this, the first goodie bag, 2019, I think it was, when it was Beachy and Bodie and Floaty. Beachy, Bodie, and Floaty are the colorway names here. But it was like my first glimpse of that genius of Diane's tonals and fades. Yeah. So I need to dig mine out because this is like giving me so much joy. It's been sitting on my yarning room table for the drawing. And then now that I'm going to send it out and to Beth. So Beth, Beth gets this one. But yeah, it's bringing me joy. I'm like, also could probably grab some of my fade from her, which is subscription joy, right?
Yes.
So great. So great. And have you gotten yours from her yet? Mine was delivered today, this month's.
I can see it. I don't care.
Okay. Well, cover your eyes if you are somebody that does not want to be spoiled and you have not gotten it yet. I'm really enjoying this quarter's inspiration and this colorway. So I won't say the name of the colorways. So if people are looking away, but yeah. And you'll get to see it in real life. I bet it's like
I have a feeling that looks really different in person.
It's probably, I mean, I think that this color, the contrast is higher than it actually is. So it's really lovely blend. And then I'll put it down so now people can look that we're looking away. But really enjoying where this is headed based off of this color. So so pretty. Exciting. So pretty.
I still need to find that project so I can get that fade on the needles. Try to think of something.
Yeah. And then, prior to family becoming sick, we had coffee together. And Amy ordered these and bought me one. So the fabric print, the print is called Pickle Party, which is super fun. And it's a junk brands.com.
Yep.
And I'm really enjoying it. This style is the flex tie headband. And when it's not so bright outside that I need my visor to cover my face, I've been wearing this and rocking it. And every once in a while I get an interesting like look at me when I'm running, and I'm like, yeah, those are pickles on my headband. I think my favorite one, I mean, the mustache one, the really big mustache one is pretty fun.
You got one with a beanie on though. He's got knits on.
Yeah.
And sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah. No, super fun. Super fun. Oh, but which one is my favorite? I saw one that I was like, oh my goodness, that is so much fun. So this one, are you thinking that this is oh, I'm looking at that this one is that's like hair. That's not a hat.
No, there's an orange hat.
Oh, right here. Okay. I was like sunglasses. Yeah. I like the Mohawk one. He's pretty fun. So yeah, really enjoying that as an alternative to my running caps. It keeps my hair out of my face, but then it's not as, I don't know, like it covers a lot. My running cap covers a lot of my forehead. And then, you know, what that entails, like friction there and whatever. So enjoying the headband. You got something in a couple of prints too, didn't you?
Yeah, so they have different styles of bands. And so the print on the band that I got, the pickles are much taller. But yeah, so I got Pickle Party in one of the other band styles. But again, they have, I think, like 3 or 4 styles of bands. So, and they have prints of everything.
It's not like I can't tie a bow. It's definitely like a knot and then another knot. And I have a fairly small head, right?
Yeah, the other ones are sewn and they fit my head. So I was like, well, if I want one that's adjustable for somebody who's never worn one before, I would get that style because you can tie it to whatever width you want.
And it stays on pretty good.
Yeah. And if you want it to eventually be permanently that size, you could sew it into place instead of having to tie it every time.
And my last kind of random, because again, I've been doing a pretty good job of not buying yarn, but that ended with recent illness. Feeling sorry for myself. I went to Rochester has a night market. It's not every weekend, but it's like every other weekend in July and August, I think. And I got some earrings and a hair clip from that Sassy Stitch. I was drawn to the booth because it was that Sassy Stitch, which I guess she started out sewing. I follow her on Instagram now. She started out sewing, but now she's kind of went into making more of these like earrings and a polymer, like fern leaves and what else? Like just really pretty marl.
Something from that Sassy Stitch. Does she do paper as well?
I'm not remembering it in the booth. It was mostly earrings, necklaces, and then you know, this one is a hair clip with a matching with the matching earrings, which this green just makes me really happy.
I see. No, I was thinking like I bought earrings from her, but they were made of paper.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So I think she might be rebranding. In fact, she may have already rebranded because she was saying that enough people have walked into her booth and been like, what is the what's the stitch part of all of this? But yeah, I'm totally green today. I'm totally green.
Stylish.
Oh, my pickles are upside down.
There you go.
I gotta get the pickles the right side up. Yeah. So and now it's trapped in my hair. I may never get out. But yeah. So
fun fact, I also bought a taco hairband. So it's got these little tacos and they have legs and arms and they're running.
I can see myself again. I was given this kind of a trial run with literally running. But I could definitely see myself ordering more, especially if they're really fun prints like this. So
yeah. They have tons of normal ones too. Don't get me wrong, and they have ones that are like trademark things like Marvel or sports teams and things like that. But yeah, the ones that are like this are always my favorite.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So fun. So fun. And then if I'm following your lead, recent yarn that I've worked with, I finally have gotten to my, no sweat shirt, which is made out of this dungarees Queensland collection recycled jeans, which is a really fun speckle. And then this remix light. Really enjoying working with this remix light. I may or may not have a Webs cart loaded up with some different colorways because I think it would make a really nice they're both listed as DK, but again with the plant fibers that aren't as like floofy as wool. It feels like I'm knitting with a fingering because that's kind of the diameter of it. But on larger needles. So this is like size 6. And I'm just really loving the combo of kind of that speckle. And it's nice and light. I guess I think a lot of people associate cotton and the plant fibers like linen and cotton with maybe that dishcloth cotton, right? Like the heavier mercerized cotton. And this is just really, really light. And I think it's going to be a really nice, like transitional piece.
That's one thing that I didn't factor into the one that I made. It was the mixtape. I used the remix and it does not drape. Or it doesn't drape the way that I would expect that remix tee or the mixtape tee to drape. And so you need to be cognizant of that, I guess. I didn't find that once it washed up that it draped quite the same as a merino would.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, again, I think we were joking last night, like this remix has so many different things in it. We were like, does it have, and then the dungarees one has like 5% other fibers. We're like, what are those other fibers? Are those like tires? What's the other fibers? I'm guessing it's like nylon or some sort of binding. Yeah.
And again, I am a fan of the yarn, don't get me wrong. But the other thing that I noticed when I was knitting with it, it felt like it was drawing the moisture out of my hands or something. It just felt like it was very sticky as I was knitting it.
I do. I mean, again, along with that feeling like you're knitting with fingering weight yarn, like if I tug a little too hard and it's caught on something, this will kind of like break, right? Very sturdy in the actual garment, right? But yeah. So I'm showing you the wrong side because that's how you knit it. But these stripes are super fun on the wrong side as well. Just absolutely loving it. So, and that pattern is not written up to be striped. I just decided that I wanted a striped hoodie. So,
right. Yeah. And there's also, it's not written to be reverse stockinette either.
It is written to be reverse stockinette.
Oh.
I mean, I can, because I did really good. I did a really good job. I'm patting myself in the back. I purposely focused on making sure that I was carrying the yarn carefully. And then I added a little transition of a purl stitch on the side seam. So you can see where I carried it. Well, this side would be the side.
Audio, Megan. I'm not sure why.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you still hear me? No. We'll have to have somebody comment in the thread if they can still hear me. No? Still nothing?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. But yeah, I tried to do a good job carrying the yarn up the right side, because this is supposed to be the right, the wrong side, I guess, even though it's the stockinette side, so that I could wear it either way.
Okay.
But the instructions say that you knit it this way. So maybe somebody tried it on with the stockinette side out.
Could be. I don't know. I didn't look that closely. I knew that the sample that was done at Farmer's Daughter's Fiber was reverse stockinette, but I didn't realize I thought that they had added that.
Yeah, no, it's a fun pattern, and again, I think I like it either way, right? But yeah, whew, getting a little warm with all of that on. But yeah, no, I think that I would recommend both of those yarns to for like summer / transitional. It sounds like Laura said that if I wanted to see some of the colors that they have in person, that they have that Remix Light at Northfield. So I got this one at Darn It Anyway, like way back in the day when we were still doing zombie birthday parties. So
yep. And I still have the yarn that I bought that day too, because I knit with the pink I bought at Northfield before I knit with the red that I bought the other place.
I love it. I love it. I think it's a nice yarn. It's a nice alternative.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but for some reason it felt very sticky to me, like it was sticking to my hands as I was knitting it. And I think it was because it just felt like
one of the million fibers in here. Nylon, acrylic, silk, linen, and cotton are in there. So maybe one of those is more like
grabby,
absorby feeling. Grabby. Yeah, grabby is probably the best word.
Yeah. But anyway, I did think that I did bring another favorite thing while you were talking.
Oh,
I have the this is the neon graffiti bag maker.
Ooh, I love it.
So it's got that super sturdy padding in it, so it stands up like a bucket bag. But yeah,
quilted, kind of a quilted. You've got
the
cross hatches.
They quilt this themselves. Like the fabric doesn't come this way. They quilt it themselves and then put it in there, so you can tell like the liner isn't quilted.
Mm-hmm.
And then this outside was quilted by the bag maker. But I don't know.
Love it.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
They had some sneakers, right, that I was kind of looking at. That was a fun print. They've got some fun prints. Very neon says a lot, right? It's very attention grabbing.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell that the drawstring is just into two loops or two panels on the side. So there's a big gap here on the sides. And so when you tighten it, you kind of have little holes.
Okay, for the working yarn to peek out if you want to.
Yeah, have the working yarn pop out of the sides there. I mean, not that that was intentional. I think it's also makes for a cute, I don't know, dumpling kind of look to it too. But I don't know. I think that I really appreciate that it has that really thick batting or padding in it, that it stands up like all on its own, like a bucket bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those leather bucket bags, right?
Yep.
Anyway,
I understand what you're saying. That resonates with me. Did you have one of your current projects in it and then you realized, hey, I could talk about that? Or did you actually bring it and forgot?
I brought it because of the bag and then realized that the Rambly project was in it. And I talked about the project instead of the bag.
You got distracted by your fave Rambly.
I got distracted. Name of the game.
Yarn distractions is definitely a fun is part of our hobby for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But all right, well, thanks to everybody for joining us. We almost made it through if we hadn't been so chatty without a technical blip.
Right.
But
all right.
Bye. All right.